That's my first time hearing that, man.
Hello.
Bluetooth.
Sound loud.
All right, we're joined by Rhode Island student athletes Andre Berry,
Bluetooth.
Jarvis Garrett, E.C. Matthews, Stanford Robinson, and Jared Terrell. A few reminders, please, before you ask a question, give your name and affiliation. And this is to be recorded audio only, no video. With that, we'll open up the press conference with some questions for the student athletes.
Hi, Will Graves, Associated Press. Guys, I'm just curious, I mean, how much do you relish your offense is, the way you guys run things is so different than what OU does. I'm just curious, how much do you look forward to just sort of the challenge that covering Trey, guarding Trey provides?
We did a lot of transition today. Just trying to corral the ball, trying to get the ball out of his hands, and just loading up on the weak side, and just forcing the other players to make plays.
Does he remind you of anybody that you guys have played, or is he sort of his own deal, this range?
Well, his range is unlike anybody we faced this year, so that alone makes him very different. But we got a game plan for him. We're gonna try to get the ball out of his hands and make other guys create shots for the team, and we take pride in our defense. So it should be we're gonna accept the challenge. This will be real fun.
This is basically for any one of the players that wants to comment, but I'm just looking for some insight what it's been like to be coached by Coach Hurley and what he is like as a guy to deal with, not only as a coach and you the player, but also as a person. If anybody wants to give some feedback on that.
It's been hard. Nah, it's been fun. Coach Hurley is a passionate coach. He doesn't want to see. I'm sorry. He doesn't want to see anyone fail. He's going to push you every day to your limits, and he's going to strive for greatness every day. And he's going to make you pull out your greatness. So he's a great coach, and I love playing for him.
Jared, I saw you nod your head. Talk about that a little bit.
No, when you got a coach that's passionate, comes to work every day, ready to go, and always amped up, and just a loud body, just getting on you, and trying to make you a better person, just as well as trying to make you a better player. It's kind of hard not to like him.
Much like the Sooners, who had a hot start to the season and then kind of finished on a lower record towards the end, you guys 4-4 to end out the season. How is this an opportunity to maybe press the reset starting March?
They have to answer questions. So
Please, ask them. Jarvis Garrett, please. Give your name.
March is a whole new start to the season, so now it's all a clean slate pretty much.
Adam Zagoria, for any of you guys. Trey was in here before talking about how we had respect for you guys as guards, your seniors. Do you guys think some of these one-and-done guys get too much attention and too much love on ESPN and all that stuff compared to seniors like yourself and some of the other seniors around the country? And why do you think that is?
I mean, these players that come in one and done, very talented. Let's not get that wrong. It's just, they had a lot of hype coming out of high school, so I feel like that helps them when they get to college. Everyone wants to see everyone's interested in what the youngins are doing, If you've been around for a while, it's kind of like you get old news. Everyone's into the new news. So, yeah, they do get a lot of hype, but, well-deserved. But I do wish, like older players, could still get, some of the recognition that these young players do as well.
Yeah, for me, I just think everybody's journey is different. It depends, how much I don't know how much clout you got coming out of high school. It's rare to see 4-year guys now, but I don't know. I have respect for if you're a one and done player. If you're a 4-year player, everybody's journey is different. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question, but I respect everybody.
23 in Tulsa. For EC and Jared, obviously Trey had so much success in the first half of the season and in the Big 12. In the second half of conference play, it seemed like those teams seemed to figure out a little better way to defend him. For you guys defending him tomorrow, what have you seen from tape, or what's the strategy, and what will be the challenge facing him the first time?
We can't tell him my strategy.
Top secret.
Yeah, we had watched a lot of tape on him, and like I said, once he crosses half court, you know, he's liable to shoot the ball from anywhere. So we know that's something we have to take notice of, and like I said, we have a plan to speed him up. Our defense, we take pride in that, as you know, and we have guards that's gonna, you know, that loves to challenge, you know. So we're not gonna shy away from that, and like I said, we have a plan to. I hope it works tomorrow, hopefully.
Once upon a time, you were committed to Oklahoma State. Do you ever kind of imagine what that path could have presented for you, and, you know, if you had been a regular season opponent for a team like Oklahoma?
I don't really think about that much. I mean, it crosses my mind sometimes, but being here for 4 years has been a great experience. I wouldn't want to win anywhere else, and I just enjoy my time here.
For any of the seniors, a lot happens with coaches in leagues like the A-10. If they have success, other leagues come, bigger Power 5 conferences come and try to lure them away. Coach's brother was at Buffalo, a year or two, and he took a job at Arizona State. I'm curious, has there been any point in your careers where you were concerned that Coach was going to be gone? And do you find yourself monitoring Twitter or checking rumors or any of that stuff? And what do you think has kept him around?
I would say on that question, I feel like we never really felt that he was gonna go anywhere because his loyalty to us. He always told us that he had our back no matter what, and that he wasn't gonna go anywhere, and we trusted him, so we believed that he was never going anywhere.
Do you find yourself checking Twitter or checking rumors or seeing what Zag's vlogs got throwing Coach's name around?
We checked it sometimes. I mean, we're not gonna lie, we checked it out, but we just took his word on it, and that's what we went with.
Dean Blevins, News 9 Sports, Oklahoma City. Guys, how big a factor do you think it is that you're a veteran ball club? You were here last year. How do you think that will impact this game? Trey's young, and some of their other guys that play a lot are young.
Just keeping our composure. We've been on this stage before. We know what it takes to win at this level, and we just got to stick to our game plan and play how we've been playing all year.
Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. Andre, you were behind a couple really good players last year in Karan Iverson and Hassan Martin. You're probably going to start the game tomorrow after playing just 1 minute in 2 NCAA games. Can you speak to maybe what an opportunity that's going to be and how excited you're going to be for it?
It's a big opportunity. I feel like this whole year I've played well, and my teammates have had my back throughout the whole year and throughout these past 3 years I've been here. So tomorrow's a good experience for me. I feel like with these guys having my back and Coach Hurley trusting in me, that I'll do a good job. But right now I'm just trying to focus on the win pretty much.
Stanford, can you just talk about the finish you guys had in the tournament last year and how that's going to affect your guys' motivation to maybe continue after tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the one of the questions before, it's all about the experience. The experience is going to give us confidence. We took a close loss to Oregon last year, and you know a lot of people didn't expect us to even be in that game. Just for us to accomplish things like that, the 9-0 win streak that we went through last year, and then the 16-0 win streak we went this year, and you know the ups and downs that we went as a team. You know it all gives us confidence, and we always got each other's back. So definitely it's gonna be a good run. It's gonna be a great run.
For any of you guys coming from Tulsa. A lot of Oklahoma fans don't know much about Rhode Island basketball, especially first time that the programs have met. And a lot of them are saying that I heard on my trip, you know, looking forward to facing Duke in the second round. What should Oklahoma fans, obviously the players respect you guys, but what should the fans know about Rhode Island basketball?
Google it.
I mean, we just gonna keep coming at you. We're not gonna stop until it's, zeros on the clock, and hopefully it's a great game. But on our end, we just gonna keep coming at you with hard defense.
Craig Meyer with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. When you first got to URI EC, what do you remember the sort of state of the program being like? And when you first got there, what sort of gave you hope and belief that you all could become what you have now?
When I first got there, it was very quiet. The fan base wasn't that large. People didn't really pay attention to our program, our basketball team throughout the country. And I remember it was me and Hassan Martin. He was a senior last year who graduated, but we came in and Coach Hurley had a vision, and we were kind of the first guys to start that. And like each year we would get more recruits, more people to commit there. And I don't know, over the years our program just grew and we got better, and it became what we are now. And hopefully, when we 5 seniors leave, it can continue to reach new heights. But Rhode Island has been on the map, if not this year. If not last year, definitely this year.
Mark Herman from Newsday in New York. This is for the seniors, just to follow up on what you said before, that not everybody stays for 4 years. What did being there for 4 years do for you as a player and as a person?
For me, it was more maturity, just growing as a person, learning how to carry myself on and off the court, and on the court, just my game overall, learning how to handle different situations, becoming a better player skill-wise, being able to shoot better, and learning how to handle different situations throughout the game.
Definitely. I think just staying in school longer, you just become more mature. You learn how to handle certain situations on and off the court, things to support your family in the future, and just the relationships you build, it lasts forever. So staying in school is definitely a great thing for me.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we're joined by Rhode Island head coach Dan Hurley here at the dais. A couple quick things here. Please give your name and affiliation when you're asking a question, and no video is allowed. Coach Hurley, if you want to do an opening statement, and then we'll ask questions.
Playing in the NCAA tournament is is a reward for having a great season, and guys are really thrilled to get a chance to play here in Pittsburgh tomorrow, versus a great Oklahoma team, and exciting matchup, CBS game to kind of tip off the Thursday, start of the tournament. So it's exciting opportunity, and thrilled to be here. Can't wait to compete against Oklahoma.
Doug Galassi, Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Coach, I know pretty much when you talk about Oklahoma, the first name that comes up is Trae Young. So just when you look at a player like him, what are the challenges of defending a point guard with his abilities?
Yeah, Trae Young, he really has no weakness in his game. He can score at every level. Obviously with amazing range on his perimeter shot. He could pass the ball with either hand at ridiculous angles. He has the ball in his hands. It has to be over 90% of the time. 90, maybe even 95%. So and he's just constantly attacking. So he has every requisite skill. And you just try to make things as hard for him as you possibly can in your ball screen defense. And when he's playing in isolations and when he's coming at you in transition. You just try to show him as many different looks as you can during the course of the game, because he adjusts so quickly to what he sees on the court, because he also has the mind for the game too. So, it's a heck of a challenge, but they also have, some long athletes that play around him, and when they're right, long athletes are making threes around him when they're right. So, but it all starts with him.
Dan, Tim Benz from Trib Live. I was wondering, the days leading up to the brackets, or even a couple days after, were you aware of how much your name had been connected to the Pitt coaching job? And how do you feel about being here? I mean, to the point that a lot of people are billing Dan Hurley's Rhode Island Rams are being here as much of a lead story as anything. Are you flattered by that? Does it make it awkward? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, no, it's something that, listen, we're in a social media age, so for me to sit up here and say I have no awareness would be, wouldn't be truthful. But I haven't thought 1 second about any other team or program or what city I'm playing in relative to who has a coaching vacancy. This is a special group of players that I recruited into this program. These seniors are special. This program has become special. It's our second straight trip to the NCAA tournament after not being in one for a long time. And, we've built an amazing thing at Rhode Island. And, so that's really the only thing I've ever thought about during the course of this season is, is this team and our goals and trying to reach them. And, I've been on that, coaching rumors, with me is something that it's a great reflection for the university, our program, and these players have made it, their efforts have made me, I guess, attractive to other schools. So, credit to university and what they've been able to build in terms of the program and these great players.
Dane O'Neill at The Athletic. Dan, you had a pretty visceral reaction to Bobby's selection into this tournament. Just can you explain the emotions? I know you guys speak regularly, but what you felt like in that moment seeing Arizona State up there?
Yeah, it was tremendous, joy, and because of the format, I'd like to thank the CBS or whoever decided to do it that way alphabetically, so I could find out quickly. It was joy and then a tremendous amount of just relief, just relief, for Bob. I know how hard he works. I know how hard his team has worked. I know how potentially great they could play in a tournament format, which plays a little bit more like a non-conference than a conference schedule, in terms of this, the way that the game's going to be played. So it was tremendous relief, joy, all these things, because I knew how bad he wanted it for his team.
Yeah, I'm Adam Zagoria from the St. Benedict's Prep newsletter. Just to follow on Dana's question, when's the last time you talked to Bobby? Did you share any good anecdotes? And also, I know your mom and dad are driving out to both games. What's that going to be like for you guys having them at both games?
Yeah, we speak, twice a day when when it's at a critical point, when we need that support from each other. And, for the most part, also text messaging, just different things to keep each other's, spirits up. We don't, my dad started our coaching tree, and, we got into this together at Wagner College, several years back. So, we're each other's support system in this business, which is tough at times, the highs and lows. To be able to share those with your brother and support each other, through those moments with your best friend, person that that you love and care about. It's an amazing thing, and to go through with your brother. And then my parents, they'll be driving around a lot this week, and then if Bob wins, they'll be heading to Detroit. So they got their work cut out for him, but it's good because my dad needs to be kept busy because he's been driving my mother crazy the whole year, driving her just crazy.
Yeah, Craig Meyer with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Dan, you were talking a little bit earlier about, with your success, some of the rumors that can surround you sometimes. I was curious how, if at all, you approach that with your players.
Well, earlier in the year, we during one of our conference games, the student section was yelling at our bench, that, hey, your coach is going to X school. And Fats Russell asked me after the game, was I coaching the next game? So, I had a conversation with him. The players, internally, everyone knows, where my head is at. And they're used to it. It's been like that every, off season. It's just, it's happened, a little bit sooner for them. And, than it normally would, but this isn't, the first time that my name's been connected to jobs. They understand the situation, and they're used to it. I'm used to it, and it's not a distraction at all.
Dan, Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. Not just playing Trae Young tomorrow, but going up against Lon Kruger, coach who's had tremendous success, been to 2 Final Fours, taken 5 schools to the NCAAs. For you personally, when you match up with another coach with a resume like that, does that give you a little extra juice?
Me and Bob were talking about that last night. It's, you're coaching against Jim Boeheim tomorrow night in the NCAA tournament. That's pretty cool. Playing Oklahoma, from the Big 12, one of the most talked about college teams in the country this year, with one of the most talked about college basketball stars in recent memory as a freshman, and then a coach of his caliber. I mean, how could you not feel like it's an amazing opportunity and something that's just thrilling? It's thrilling to be a part of the NCAA tournament. It's hard to get in this tournament. There's a lot of really, really good teams that didn't get in, so it's a thrill to be here. But I mean, to see that Oklahoma flash, it just added just some extra sizzle to it.
Mark Berman of the Roanoke Times in Virginia. I was just curious, since Alabama's here as well, since you played them this year, I was wondering what you recall about that game in terms of the challenges that Alabama posed for you when you played them.
Yeah, I mean, they're similar to Oklahoma in terms of being long and athletic. Both are led by amazing point guards, different type players, but both obvious lottery pick players, but just I think very similar in terms of the size, the length. Alabama, I think really showed who they were. Late in the SEC tournament, the way they played, an amazingly, I think, talented offensive team. Across the board, and they're very, very deep team.
Hi, Danny. Ryan Reckert, ABC here in Pittsburgh. Going back to Seton Hall, and now obviously as a head coach, you've gone head-to-head with the schools here in Pittsburgh. I'm curious what your take is on the reputation from a basketball sense of Pittsburgh in this region.
Well, we've had at Rhode Island, I've been here, I didn't always play well. I think we played in the Fitzgerald, I think. Had some really, really bad games in there. So not too many fond memories as a player. I think we, PJ didn't walk out real happy with us after several of those nights in there. And but I've had better success as a coach, coming back in here with Wagner, several years back in my second year there. That was a pretty neat moment, followed up by the 9-hour bus ride back to Staten Island. And then, and then last year here with the, with the A-10 tournament, obviously, we feel like we play well in Pittsburgh. We've played well in this arena. Hopefully, we have some have some magic in the tournament here.
Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. Dan, you talking about bus rides made me think about your commute out here based on the snow. Had to leave a little early. How are you guys physically in terms of the couple days of travel?
Yeah, it's the. We wish we could have, the weather would have cooperated, and because we played Friday, we played 3 pretty intense games, Friday, Saturday, and the championship, hard fought, tough loss to stomach versus Davidson, that 1-point game on Sunday. We had the, we flew commercial, got in real late, Sunday night, a little bit after midnight, and then we were, back on the buses on Monday night just to try to beat the storm. There was just no way for us to, coordinate the entire group and get out on a plane Monday night. So, so we drove about halfway and Monday night into Tuesday morning, got to a hotel around 2 a.m., 2:30, slept for a couple hours, and then busted in. And guys feel good. I think getting in here today, I think they were dragging a little bit yesterday in practice, but just getting in here and getting the experience. We don't want them to miss that. We don't want to have to wait, maybe try and catch a Wednesday flight, and then they miss all this. This is the reward for having a great season, and we wanted them to experience it. But before they could experience this, they had to experience the minor league baseball bus trip.
Dan, sorry, I couldn't let that Fitzgerald Fieldhouse reference go without a follow-up. I mean, what do you remember about playing games in that old gym, and what do you think about how that program is built to the point where they got the Pete up on the hill now in Oakland?
Yeah, I remember struggling against Sean Miller early on, playing there, and then Jerry McCullough, and and then obviously I followed the program. I'm a basketball junkie, so the work that Ben and Jamie did there was amazing.
Andrea Adelson, ESPN.com. As a follow-up to your bus trip here, when did it become clear that you guys were going to have to change your plans and leave early, and where did you end up staying on Monday night?
All right, so right around 4:45 p.m. on Monday, we audibled to the 11 p.m. departure bus, and then we stayed in Passaic. We found a Courtyard Marriott in Passaic. We stopped. We stayed. They did lie to me though. The staff told me it was going to be. I think they said it was a 6.5 hour bus ride. It was more like 9. So we did the 3 and then we did the 6, and now we're here, but we're ready to go.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.